Good morning. See if we can do something about that fan sound. Is that a little better? Alright, I got some stuff for you guys today. Let's start with this guy. I did some game hunting this past week, which yielded some pretty great results. And then I also got this package. I had a streak of nothing with my game hunting, and it was nice to, you know, get some good stuff. But we'll get to that in a minute. Come on now. Is that enough to get me in? Yes, it is. Alright, so we got a bunch of Atari games here. Yeah, you guys know I've been into Atari. I've got it hooked up. I've been getting games for it. When I order games through the mail right now, they tend to all be Atari games. So this is the stuff from the mail, and then the game hunting is all other stuff. So I got Maze Craze, which I've never owned for the Atari, but this was one of the few Atari games that I think someone told me about when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I didn't know anything about the Atari. But I remember hearing about Maze Craze. I don't even know what the game's like. Kangaroo, this is another one that I didn't have it, but this wasn't why I bought the lot. So here we got the original Pac-Man. I've already got this one. No end label. Got a better copy than this. But, you know, I'm building a little collection of doubles. I know Duke from the Cartridge Club lives in the same state as me, and he's always posting his acquisitions from the neighborhood. So, Duke, one of these days you and I are going to hang out. We're going to go game hunting, and I'm going to have a big sack full of Atari doubles that I can just hand over to you. I think this is probably one of the big reasons I bought this lot right here. This is Millipede. Centipede is a great game for the Atari, and it's one that's been getting a lot of play in my house lately. I don't really know anything about this Millipede game. I've played it in the arcade, but I don't really remember much about it. Like, I don't know how it differs from Centipede. So that's cool. Millipede. Oh boy. So this is the end label to Pac-Man, which appears to have come off in the packaging, which is just fine. I'll find a way to get this back onto that game somehow. I'll do a little research. So when I hand it off to somebody, they're getting a good complete game. Right, at least a complete cartridge. Two more here. Home Run. You guys know sports games on the Atari. They're all really hit and miss. So this was just like a game that happened to be in the lot that I didn't have. Cool. And here's a weird one. Sorcerer. That doesn't have any. It does, by Mythicon. I don't know. I know there's a lot of like weird companies that put out Atari games, and I don't really have any games from any of the really weird companies. I've got a couple. Like I've got what's the company that makes Word Zap? I've got one of those games, but it's mostly just from Activision and Atari. I've got a Spectravision game, but this is the first ever Mythicon game. I love this about the artwork. How they like either commission a painter or buy a painting to put on the game. So these were my Atari acquisitions. Pretty sweet. All new stuff, which is rare. Usually when you buy games in a lot, you're gonna take a hit, and you get about half of them new, and then you did okay. Collect the rest and you try and hawk them yourself. But Pac-Man was the only one I had already, so I did all right on that. I'll tell you what, guys and gals, it's Saturday morning and it's gorgeous outside. I when I'm done filming, I don't imagine I'll stay in and play video games. I'd like to take my bicycle to the shop and see if I can get it fixed up. When I was a kid, so I got my driver's license late in life. So I used to ride my bicycle everywhere, from when I was a kid all the way up into my 20s. And I was really good at it, man. But now in my adult life, it has withered away. The tires are all flat and it needs work. This would be a prime day to go ride my bike. So let's talk about the game hunting. I had those games collected here on. Yeah, there they are. Okay, great. So let's start. Let's see a second here. I mixed them all in. No, I didn't. Okay, great. So I got a big stack of games from the same places I hit when I went hunting with Hemrock like a month ago, whenever that was. I just posted the footage this past week, but I hit the same places. There's a Goodwill that had a glass case, a locked glass case, that last time had a bunch of really good games in it that like we didn't have time to get into. This time I went there and there was like a third of the games. Still a couple games I'd like to own, but there was like a small portion, and it was locked, and they were like, we don't have the key, so we're not going to be able to get in there for another week. So, didn't get anything from there. So let's see. Here's the stack. Start with this. This is not a game, but this is the city guides for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which people say this is a great game. I never spent any time with it. It was always GTA 3 for me. I think the first two Grand Theft Auto games are highly, highly underrated. Right now, I'm going back to the second one. I've been playing GTA 2 on my little underpowered laptop, so thought I might give San Andreas a try. I've had it in my Steam collection forever, but I don't think I've ever run it. This has like full fold-out maps in it. I don't want to get them out now, but you can see there's like posters that turn into huge maps. So I think the Grand Theft Auto games, at least the early ones, they need their maps. Call of Duty World at War. Call of Duty's had a real crash lately because these games are everywhere. This one's for the Wii, which is particularly useless since the Wii online multiplayer has been shut off. Call of Duty Finest Hour. I think that should be really neat to play. Any more Call of Duties? Yeah, one more. Call of Duty 3, is that a tagline? Special Edition Call of Duty 3. First game I can think of where a Special Edition is put before the title. But that's neat. It says includes a bonus disc, but I don't think it does. Yeah, it sure does. Look at that. Oh no, I goofed. Bonus disc. No actual disc. I think I just opened up and saw the disc and was like, yep, it's all set. Hang on a second. Does Finest Hour have it? Yeah, okay. I thought I checked all these. I guess it's just that one. Oh well, so I took a hit on that. To be honest, it's a Call of Duty game. I'm finding them everywhere. I like them, but I'm not placing them at a high dollar value right now. Here's one I've never played. Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. I would have passed over this, I think, but I got a lot of sports games, so I was like, hey, this turn-based? Yeah, okay, let's try it. And then we get to the sports games. Dark Summit. I don't know what that is. Snowboarding, I guess. And then we got Amped. And mind you, these were my favorite kinds of games when I was in high school. It was in the Too Extreme era, right? Cool Borders. Those, oh my gosh, I was so into those games. Unbelievable. Look at these two I'm actually kind of interested to play. SSX World Tour and the original SSX. I played this at a friend's house when it was brand new, and people say it's like a beloved game, right? And I don't really remember anything about it, so looking forward to playing the SSX games. And SSX, I don't know if I have any. I must have at least one other one, but this one is a purple disc. And I love the purple discs. It's got some fingerprints on it, but no scratches. So that's all the PS2 and Xbox stuff. And I have these two jewel case acquisitions. I don't know why I bought this. This is a PC CD-ROM for a game I have on GOG already. It's Lords of Magic. I think it was Gaming HD. The Eastern European gentleman who often talks about classic PC games. He did a thing about Lords of Magic and made it look like a really sweet game. So I saw this there and I was just like, you know what? You know what? Even if it just gets donated again in another 6 months, I'm taking this home for now. And this, as far as I'm concerned, is the cream of the whole stack. Twisted Metal 2 for the original PlayStation. Yes, brother. Oh yes. For the risk of retelling a story that I told while I was doing the podcast, when my older brother and I got a hold of our original PlayStation, we got it with Final Fantasy VII. So right out of the box, there wasn't a whole lot of two-player stuff we could do. He would play for like an hour, I would sit there and watch him, then he'd get to a save spot, and then I would play my save, going through the exact same parts of the game. That's how I remember being introduced to the PlayStation. This was the first time that we got like something that we could sit down and play together, and we played the goodness out of this game. And man, it was so good. First time I ever remember a franchise changing company hands and that having a severe impact on the gameplay. This was made by Single Track. This along with the first one, and then it went over to 989 Studios for the third one, and that's when I think the series gets wonky. I'm not saying those later games are bad, but the Single Track versions of Twisted Metal, in my opinion, are my favorite. They also made Single Track made a game called Rogue Trip. Never played it, but it's supposed to be like another car combat game for the PS1, a lot like this. And they also did one with submarines, which is a lot like Twisted Metal, but you're using submarines. So you have up and down. You got to add depth to your strategy. I can't remember what that game's called. I think it's called Critical Mass or something. But one of my friends, when I was that age, bought it and brought it over one time, and that was the one time I got to play it. So if I ever figure out what that game's called, I would like to own it. But this is it. That puts... Oh yeah. You look at this together, it's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. There you go. That's it for now. I don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff, but see you guys on the next one.